Hi, my name is John McVay. I'm a third year MFA student studying fine art at UNLV. My presentation is called Found Sound, Investigating Memory, Nostalgia, and the Expectations of a Gendered Social Conditioning. I created this series of prints through the process of screen printing, and the series analyzes the intersections between masculine idealism, nostalgia, and play. The presentation of images of males behaving in emotionally vulnerable ways confuses and challenges the normal idea of masculinity as reinforced by patriarchal standards. Men are supposed to be stolid, unwavering, strong, and aggressive. Through a playful breaking down of visual situations in which males are vulnerable, viewers are invited to imagine the process of emotional reaction as normal and valuable, indulging their emotions, instead of compulsively avoiding them in order to retain social respect and value. The use of outmoded media like cassette tape, collaged imagery from old books and magazines in the series signifies my own pop cultural childhood memories, and the work examines the power that popular media have had in shaping my behavior and ideals. Found Sound seeks to complicate the relationship between what learned and what I've been taught, investigating memory and nostalgia in relation to the expectations of a gendered social conditioning. This series unravels the cassette tape of my recorded memory and restructures those foundational repetitive loops of instruction into playfully imaginative possibilities for new ways of being. These prints will serve as scripts or legends or keys to aid viewers of my solo exhibition Perfectly Natural, which is on display right now, March 21st through April 1st at the Donna Beam Gallery on campus at UNLV. So the cassette tape motif present in the prints helps to make the connection of memory and playful restructuring across all the work in the show. Uh, at the exhibition, there's also physical cassette tape on the ground to help bridge the gap physically of space between the different prints hanging on the wall. But this is one of the prints in the series that I created. This is called masking tape. I was really interested in layering different colors of ink, and I was creating different layers through the screen printing process by creating stencils um, in the photo exposure unit with cassette tape, and the cassette tape created areas to be able to pull the ink through. So that was a process of intuitively improvising the lines with the cassette tape, with the goal or idea in mind of layering them, like this one, masking tape, and having the result be a tangled web, or a big mess. This print is called Pink Noise versus White Noise. Um, I was thinking about different gender codes that are societally embedded within different colors. So pink is generally a color that is related to femininity. So I wanted to explore a more aggressive or boy-like application of the color pink and also the color yellow in this print. This one is called Untangle This Mess. Um, Another exploration of me layering the cassette tape, using the cassette tape as kind of a scribbly line work, kind of a fun, loose, um, less precious way to make marks on the paper. Um, this one features layers that I had used in previous prints. And in the previous prints, the imagery looks really clean and it looks designed really intentionally and methodically. Um, so I was thinking it would be interesting if I took the imagery from those prints that I had made, featuring young boys who are uncomfortable or sad or crying. And what would happen if I kind of pulled those layers apart and printed them back together in ways they weren't supposed to be layered, and also in colors that weren't originally designed for them? I really like the interaction of the yellow and the blue in this. This is another print called Get Tough, where I was similarly thinking about the color-coded nature of, or the gender-coded nature of colors, rather. Um, Here, the cassette tape is piled on top of the outline of the boys. Um, One of the boys near the top, you can see, is crying, peeking out behind these white layers. Um, so I feel like this one really captures the dynamic and the pain and the violence that's expected of boys as they're growing into men, to be emotionally and physically tough, and also how that pain gets buried. I think that's represented by the layers of the cassette tape and the mismatched layers of the boy, also showing a transformation over time. And I think also a transformation from pink into a dark blue indicates a casting aside of feminine characteristics in favor of code switching to a more masculine presentation of self. This print is called Haunting Pink. And I think, again, this is another good example of me really trying to think through the idea of pink being for girls and blue being for boys. Um, this print features a motif of a pink hand that's layered within the cassette tape, kind of buried in the mass um, of memory, if we're talking about cassette tape being related to memory here. So yeah, I see this one as relative to punishment for acting feminine. Like I mentioned earlier as well, these prints were constructed to be part of my thesis show exhibition. My show is called Perfectly Natural. The themes that I've been talking about in this presentation are commonly presented throughout my body of work that's in the show right now. Um, so it was really nice to be able to work through these ideas through the screen printing medium, and to be able to have the materials to be able to try lots of different combinations. I think that that allowed me to edit the pieces for my show to the most potent and the ones that shared the ideas and my thought process the most. So that really helped me create a strong show. That's been my presentation. Thank you for listening and watching. And if you see this within the next couple weeks, go see Perfectly Natural at UNLV, Donna Beam Gallery.